everyone's like running towards something, like
Right. I got
a
that.
dream, goals, money, better job, better whatever it is. It's really them trying to offset them running from something. But if you don't take care of the stuff that's behind you that you're running from,
Mhm.
you're not running away from things at that point. You're running with them for the rest of your life.
This is the moment you've been waiting for. Everything that you've been praying for. You've had a low. You're gonna heal and come back strong. I know what you got. God you. Your girls, we're here. We're with you. This is your battle. I know you're about to come back better. God don't miss. You're ahead. This is it. Come back, sis. I know the whole world told you. Come back, sis. You weren't enough, but you are. Come back, sis. This is your battle. I know you're gonna come back better. God don't miss. You're ahead. This is it. Come back, sis.
Have I met you before in Def Jam
Yes,
in
you
New
have.
York?
Yes, I came up a DJ
Yes.
and I played your records.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you've been around. I turned 41 in 3 days.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You've been around so many of my hip hop friends. I've heard so much, but I don't think we ever spoke.
Right.
I just know your legacy in the music space and your contribution. One of my I wrote a song for DJs. It was my first album.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite people, obviously, is the DJ.
Okay.
Because how we came up, right, in hip hop, or how I assume that you came up in hip hop, is if the DJ doesn't play it, no
Right.
one's hearing it.
Right.
Talk to me about that concept
Right.
in 2023 versus
Versus
2008.
I mean, it's totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, the consumer now decides what they're going to find and like a lot differently than back then when you found the DJ that you trusted their taste and what they were going to play. And then you were waiting for them to break the new exclusive music. And then, oh, that's the hot new music. But now, like, it's definitely not the same. Obviously, the DJ is always going to be important, especially the party. You're not bringing a Spotify playlist to the party. We still need the DJ.
Are they bringing Spotify playlists to the party? Where's your that's your...
No, I hope not. Not the kind of parties I want to go to.
Okay.
Well, actually, now that I'm getting old, I actually would probably prefer that party.
I'm like, y'all are in trouble. He's about to tell y'all.
No. So I would much prefer to hear a DJ playing me some new edition or guy than listen to a playlist on Spotify. Because I want to hear them mixed together. Plus, it's the element of surprise. Plus, a playlist, you already know what's coming next. I want the DJ to know what I need to hear next. And that's the difference from a good DJ when they know, in my opinion, you have some DJs that are like, this is who I am, this is what I do, and you're going to either like it or not. Then you have some other DJs that understand the room and the emotion that needs to be felt and knows how to pivot and adapt to give the people not just what they want, but what they didn't even know they needed, right? And like, to me, that's the art of a real DJ, understanding the emotions of the room.
Started already. Just got here.
Yeah?
Started already.
What did I start?
I'm from New York.
Okay, I'm from Boston.
I know.
But we can be friends.
Right.
All right.
That's my point.
All right, cool.
That's my point.
All right.
New York, we telling you, nah, you got to hear this right now. This is what it is.
I don't even care. I'm going to just do me.
I'm going to just do me, you know what I mean? New York, where you at? Brooklyn.
Hey, and then to make sure that you're okay with it, just yell and over talk it. So it's almost being an argument with someone, like they're talking so loud you can't even get in the words.
Put your motherfucking hands in the air. That's what I'm from.
I will tell you, same. Of course. Well, I come from that school. I'm from the Northeast. So I come from, it's called slamming, like with DJ, when you slam into the next record, right? As opposed to blending it. Or like, you see, that's one of the things I learned as a DJ. So I would listen to DJs in New York because that's where you learn, right? And then I would think about, and this is my whole entire career, even all my business, is that I would look at.
It's how I know you.
Right.
I know you're entrepreneur, like all the things that my brother was like, yo, Chris, can you ask him this? Like every young man is reading what you're writing, listening to what you're saying, and then they're going and implementing it into real life, right? Or they're trying to.
That's cool.
I mean, you know this, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's always pleasant to hear the impact that you have on people. You never take it for granted, and you never assume that what you have to say gave the value that was intended, right? But I would look at who's the best, and then I would see what they're doing wrong, as opposed to trying to copy what they were doing. So, for instance, like I would see a flex, right? And I'd be like, dope. I understand why he's dope. I understand his position, but here's the things as a listener that annoys me, right? So like, all right, dude, can you shut up, right? And like back then, I want to hear the song sometimes, or you're going back and forth, cutting it too many times, right? So that just me as a DJ trying to train on what I think is the right way to DJ based off the great ones that are doing it before me, like Funkmaster Flex, but then looking at how do I usher in the next wave of people that are taking the best, but then realizing what they're doing wrong and then refining that to improve on the craft overall. So that was my approach as a DJ. Like, what can I do different? But I do that with everything in all my businesses. I never want to do what I'd probably be much richer if I did what everybody else was doing and seen the easy path. Like, oh, that's working for them. Let me just do that too. And then two, how can it help the world and the people in it?
The first thing I heard you say was, what can I do better?
Better or different than what everybody else is doing.
And then how can I differentiate myself from are we using the word competition?
No, I don't look at people as competition. I look at them as opportunities. I look at them as allies, potentially. Even as a DJ, like I was never a DJ that was like, I played it first, or like
you weren't,
or I was like, I was never like, why'd that dude get a plaque and I didn't? Because I don't care, because that wasn't my goal. My goal wasn't to get something he didn't get, and that's what people in life get caught up on, comparing what somebody else has, comparing what somebody else is doing, and it doesn't align with what their original goal. If they made a goal in the first place, that wasn't part of your goal. An example I'll give is if I'm on a football field and my goal is to get to the end zone to get a touchdown, and I watch game tape, I'm at practice, I know what I'm supposed to do. That's my assignment, is to get a touchdown. Do you think once I get the ball in my hand and I get an open lane and I'm running down that field, if somebody in the stands yells, Clinton, you suck, or I'm going to throw the football down and address that guy in the that's not part of my goal.
Do I get to interrupt right there?
Of course. It's your show.
Of course they stop and say,
I'm going to drink a tea.
Of course they stop and say, Clinton, you suck. And of course you turn around and say, what do you mean, asshole? In 2023.
I don't. Never have, never will.
Can you tell us do you hear it when they say that?
Yes. And the reason I hear it, because that's my job as a brand, is to understand what the market feels. So if somebody doesn't like what I'm doing, I take that in as market research to realize what I can improve on. If somebody does love what I'm doing, then it's never personal to me. From the beginning of like in 2000, I made myself a brand. And I knew when I was going to get on the radio that I needed to be a brand like a Nike Just Do It. I need a tagline, Clinton Sparks, Get Familiar. And nobody was a brand back then. The first 10 years of my career, people laughed at me for calling myself a brand. Now everybody's a personal brand.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
All jokes aside.
Yeah. So I removed my emotion from the brand that I was the CEO of. Therefore, I would never get big-headed and I would never get hurt feelings. I would look at it from, you're supposed to, an executive from a company, what can I improve on, or what am I doing right and I should do more of, by paying attention and caring what other people have to say. Now, there's a difference from what you said. If someone says you suck or you're an asshole, well, that's not constructive and it's not coming from an intelligent point of view. So maybe your opinion isn't really worth listening to.
Check the source.
Yeah, it's not really worth listening to. So if you have something like constructive to say, or a reason why it sucks, if you say you suck and here's why I think you suck, dope. Thank you for telling me that. Never would be like, what you mean? Or I'm not, you just don't understand. It's like, I already know how I think. We all know how we all think.
Yeah.
We know how we operate. Well, at least I like to assume we do. A lot of people don't have self-awareness, right? But we know how we think, what we like. It's why we hang around people that think similar to us, because we want our ideas and thoughts endorsed, right? To make us feel better. So it's why when you're with your friends, you halfway through your statement, you're like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Because you want some. I've always seeked out people that are like, no, I don't really understand. Can you elaborate?
Got it.
Because I want to see a different point of view or perspective. I already know how to sell to me. I know how to fix me. I know how to talk to me. If I want to talk to a broader audience, I need to know how everyone else thinks too. And in order for me to understand how they think, I have to give a shit about other people and how they think and what they care about and what they feel and what they need and what bothers them. Even if I don't agree with them, that's their feelings. And I can't argue their feelings or where they come from. I don't know their past, their history, how they were built. We're all built differently. You're not supposed to think like me because you're not me. So I don't expect you to think like me, but we can share common values and morals. And then that's where we can align there. But I don't want you to be me and I don't want to be you. That doesn't make us special. Make sense?
Absolutely.
I'm going to have some more tea. Is that okay?
I wasn't sure. I didn't want to interrupt.
All right.
I'm sorry. That was, you probably think I'm just kidding.
I do think you're joking.
No, I'm serious.
Oh, okay.
I'm so serious. Do you, you do. How many young people, and I'm saying young not because I'm ancient or either of us are ancient. I'm saying young because there's so many, I'll just say at age, 16-year-olds who have no idea who they are.
There's 40-year-olds that have no idea who they are.
I know, but they're 40, so we don't expect that.
Mm-hmm.
If a younger person, and many younger people watch your offering and what it is that you share, and your method to self-awareness is unconventional. Nobody, like how I said a few minutes ago, your impact on people like my brother or just other entrepreneurs in general is humongous. But there's so many young people who may not even understand the approach of, I don't have to be offended by that. I don't have to wonder even if somebody says just you're an asshole from the stand, if that's true. I don't have to wonder about that. But if somebody says you're an asshole and I say, what makes you say that? Right? There was a period in my life where I was canceled and people thought that I was at home kind of like boo-hooing. And it was millions of people around the world calling my phone about to change. You know how that kind of thing can happen. And people thought that I was offended by what I was being called. I wasn't. I was curious as to why you were saying it. And I wanted to pull it apart. So when I say I hear you, I mean it. Because I know what it means to be shouted at from the stands. And then I hope that you give me an explanation as to why you said that. Because I want to improve. What do you think our generation needs to understand about improving?
Oh, our generation. I think people overall need to understand what's actually broken in the first place. Because a lot of people don't recognize, one, that they're broke, or two, what broke them. So it's hard to improve because a lot of people don't think they need to improve. And a lot of people live their whole life blaming other people or other things or past traumas or incidents that some of them weren't even their faults. And they blame that for why they can't advance, but never really dissect, as you said, pull it apart. Since I was young, I've always been very analytical about, why does this guy molest me? You know what I mean? Why is my dad an alcoholic? All these questions like I would ask myself, and then I would pick it apart, as you said, and start dissecting these people in their emotions and psychology and what happened to them. And, I'll give you a quick story that gave me kind of a key to life. So my dad left when I was, 4. And then I didn't hang out with him until I was like 15. And the reason I hung out with him was because I was getting arrested a lot as a kid. I was a criminal, like stealing cars and robbing houses and stuff. And then my mom sent me with him in the suburbs. And I went to live with him. And for several years, I lived with him through high school. He would always make a remark when I'd get in trouble. I didn't raise you that way. And I would get angry inside because, you didn't raise me. And then at like 18, we had the big father-son fight and we yelled at each other. And I was like, I'm going to be a way better fucking father than you one day. And then he's like, you'll see, life gets in the way and whatever happens. Right? So I leave and I'm never going to talk to that guy again. Then a couple years go by And I'm sitting there thinking about him. And I was like, you know, what happened to my father that didn't allow him to be the man I needed him to be? And when I cared enough to ask that question, instead of woe is me or fuck him, he wasn't there, or this wouldn't have happened if he was there, it was like, go deeper and see why he couldn't be there. And when I did that, and then I realized, you know, he was beat by his dad all the time, and he went through sexual abuse, and then he was sent to Vietnam, you know, and then you start thinking about, man, how can somebody be a good dude at 24, you know, after going through all that shit? So when I realized that, my resentment turned to empathy. And that was literally a key to life. I think that was like one of the first big keys that I realized was a key. When I look back, I can see other things in my life, but that was like, in the moment, I felt a shift in like how I felt. And then I went to him and I, you know, gave him open arms and accepted him for not being there. And we were best friends ever since.
Wow.
But the reason I say that is because the idea of understanding what's wrong or what's broken and getting to the bottom of it, to figure out like, it's not your fault. It's not even his fault. You know what I mean? It keeps going deeper, and you have to try to help. Everybody's so focused on themselves, right? Everyone's like, me. What about me? I'm hurt. What about my pain? No one cares about me, this and that. But just like in a business, going back to what I was saying, if you focus on doing good for the world and the betterment of people, the money will come. You just do dope shit, money comes. Everybody thinks money's the dope shit, right? The dope shit, money chases dope, right? Dope doesn't chase money. So it's kind of the same thing in life. If you're kind and caring, like, the good and the blessings follow those things. When you just try to like go straight to the blessing or straight to the, it's like,
this is so good.
You're going backwards.
This is so good.
And that's why, you know, people in life are chasing dreams or chasing money, chasing a better life. They're always chasing something, but in reality, they're really running from something. And they think what they're running to is better or safer, more fruitful than what they're running from. They don't know, they just assume. And if they never take care of what's behind them that they're running from, then they're not running from something, they're running with it for the rest of their lives.
Help me out. Say that one more time. I know we recorded it, but
I'm just winging it. So what did I?
Really? That's just off the top.
Yeah.
If they're running towards something, then they don't realize that they're carrying what was behind them is the basic.
So basically, people are usually, everyone's like running towards something. Like
right. I got
a
that.
dream, goals, money, better job, better whatever it is. But usually it's really them trying to offset them running from something. Pain, hurt, trauma, insecurity, being broke, all these things, right? But if you don't take care of the stuff that's behind you that you're running from, you're not running away from things at that point. You're running with them for the rest of your life. So you're just carrying them with you as weight while you're running to these dreams. And then what ends up happening is when you do make something become a reality, you know, people fool themselves to believe if they make their dreams a reality that they've escaped their nightmares. And
I'm so, because that's just off the top.
Her face.
Did anybody else?
That's not off the top. That's one of my quotes.
Oh, wait. I don't know if you said you played too much.
That one's. It
was okay.
That's yeah.
Okay.
That's too fire to just come up on. Well, actually, when I came up with it as a quote, it was off the top, and I was like, "Oh, that's fire," and I wrote it down.
Okay, because okay. So do you understand what kind of face I'm making?
But yeah, I mean, that's really dangerous thing to think that once you make your dreams become reality, that you've escaped your nightmares, because it's not true. I know a lot of broke motherfuckers that are happy as shit and a lot of rich people that are not happy. And they think that if I get the money, I get a better girl, I get a better body, I get a better house. Like I've now escaped the things that hurt me because now these things, all of a sudden, that happiness superseded the pain that I didn't relinquish from myself. It's still, I'm running with it for the rest of my life. So honestly, like whatever businesses I build, whatever records I've made, like all the success that I've had has all been attributed to the understanding of people and actually giving a shit and caring. It wasn't about I'm going to be the dopest DJ or I'm going to build the best, most money making company. It was, what can I do? I wouldn't even get involved with a company if it doesn't like connect cultures, if it doesn't help underserved communities, if it doesn't like just make people happy.
Mhm.
And you know,
I know one of your jams is happiness.
yeah, defending happy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead. When you said that, I was like, I know that's your jam. Or I think it is from what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid, the only two things I cared about was one day becoming a good dad, mission accomplished,
Yeah.
and making people happy. That's all I cared about. It was never, I want to make a lot of money. It was never any of the things that most people want. And the funny thing is too, is a lot of kids now, speaking of, you know, a new generation, they feel that because of social media and the internet, that fame is where happiness and greatness lives. And I'm going to hit you with a quote. You ready?
I don't know.
I'm about to,
You won't let me write. He's like,
No,
put your pad away.
But the problem is famous doesn't make you great, but great can make you famous. So if you focus on the great part, if you think about Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Tom Brady, Walt Disney, Beyonce, none of them were like, I can't wait to be famous.
How do you know that?
Because of one, because it wasn't
with all of them. Oh,
one, because it was one, because they're all my boys.
They're all your boys.
One, because the internet wasn't around then, so that wasn't the thing to chase. And two, if you look at their documentaries and watch their real story of how they came up and what they had to overcome, it was really the pursuit of greatness. It was the pursuit of, how can I be the first Black woman to do this? It was the Oprah, Tom Brady. Everybody says, no, you're too skinny. You're not big enough. You can't do it. He's not like, watch, I'm going to be famous. He's like, I'm going to prove you wrong with my greatness. Kobe Bryant, I'm going to outwork you all. Like Beyonce, dancing in our living room when we're little kids. We're not trying to be famous. We're trying to be great. It's all we know. That's all you know. Walt Disney, how do I make great? And like, that's what I've subscribed to since I was young. Famous isn't the finish line. That's a byproduct of being great, right? So if you are great at something, you become famous for that thing you're great at.
The pursuit of greatness.
Yeah. Yes.
These are not tears. This is like, I'm from New York. We don't do that crap. Wow. You have to forgive me. I'm so moved.
Yet so stationary.
What's that mean? Oh, sitting still.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from New York. We don't do like
I'm
emotions.
just playing. No, you're supposed to be loud.
Yo,
son, that was crazy.
I'm not doing that. I wore dunks there. I'm hoping they're loud enough because
if you was from NY, you'd have Tim's on.
It's kind of like, it's too hot outside where we are. But I'm not at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for, I hope everybody heard what you just said. And I have to trust that.
Well, that's what I was saying at the beginning. Like, you hope that the intended value was received.
It was received.
From you.
Yeah, but I'm expecting that the few people that watch me, I have an idea of who they are, if that makes sense. And I'm hoping that, or I'm praying that, or I'm excited that you said everything you said today.
So 6 figures in a day, yes, it's here, right? Now this is a real live screenshot that I personally did in my account. Now I do this live with my people meaning in my Discord that I have. And guess what? I'm not the only one making this type of money. As you see, there are people making 2, 3, 4, 500% with me, right? And what I want you to know is that this is not something that is foreign. It can be done and replicated, not just by me or a couple people who know what I know. I can teach it to you. So you want to learn what we know, you want to do what we do, I do this live. So I can't even fake it. I do it live every day that the market is open. Come join me. I got you.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to share it with them.
Thank you for even, you were a surprise for me today.
You were a surprise for me too.
Huge.
I'm here in Atlanta, and then I'm speaking at an event with a bunch of people. And Sean
a bunch of people.
Me.
Kevin Hart, right, is going to be there tonight. Yeah. Or was that yesterday?
I think he's tomorrow. Kevin O'Leary, Kevin Hart,
2 Chainz,
Marcus Lemonis, Tim Story, Sarah Blakely.
Crazy.
Rick Ross. Me.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, just a bunch of people. So
sick. And you
it's called Aspire. It's the Aspire. It's like the biggest business tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super excited. I'm new to the game of like sitting on my couch or whoever's couch this is with, microphones and memorizing things. I just didn't feel like that was honest.
What do you mean? You memorize lyrics, you go on a microphone in the studio, and you
I
sit on
forget
the
my
couch
lyrics
and write.
all the time.
Well, I'm sure you forgot some of the things you memorized on
Today,
this too.
but I decided that whoever, and this might be loose of me, but whoever walks through that door is ordained, and I'm enough to be here too.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, you're a really big deal. I can't tell if you know I'm serious because this is my first day on the job.
Thank you.
But to me, you're a huge deal. And coming from New York and coming from hip hop and working with the Rick Rosses and the 2 Chainz and the Jay-Z and the business for my community. And when I say my, I mean the community that we're referring to today, from the DJ space, from the hip hop space. Business is almost new language for us. So the fact that you speak the language of hip hop and then are able to translate that language into Esquire and entrepreneur and Sarah, y'all are gonna be on the same stage over the same week. Like the fact that we can go there, hip hop culture can go there and represent is not, I'm sure you know this, but it's not small, it's a huge deal.
Well, first of all, thank you for your acknowledgement. Secondly, I appreciate your respect for me and what I've done. But thirdly, I've been doing this since 2000s, man. Like I was the guy that I fortunately had the ability to help uplift hip hop in places that it wasn't. For instance, when I became a host on E! News in 2008, they were talking about Paris Hilton and Britney Spears until I came in. I'm bringing Kweli and Pusha and Pharrell and everybody on that global platform.
That's when I got signed. That's the you that I was.
I probably promoted your music on E! News.
But I remember the first time I saw anything about me on E! News, and for me being a kid from Long Island, I couldn't put it together.
Right.
And so, if I'm honest, the club and the DJ was the only thing I could really understand because I could see the person. By the time I got to TV, they were like, oh, you know, and I'm like, what is that even? So everything you're saying and the reason why I'm kind of like, whoa, is because if I'm honest, I get it. It was never about fame. And so when people think that they can say, we're going to unfamous you now, it's like, I didn't even know that was a thing. It never was on my mind. So the reason why I'm kind of starstruck and kind of awestruck is because you've done it. You're doing it and you're raising your family, but you've done it. And there's people who only did what I've done. Came up from 2007 to 2017, traveling around the world and seeing. I remember when Aston Martin Music, a song I did with Rick Ross, played in Paris at a place called Favela Chic. The guy didn't speak English, but everybody knows the first thing I did was walk over to the DJ. I didn't care what language he spoke because music unites us. So that's the understanding that I have. But you give language for us to be like, oh, it can go there too. And they'll get it. So kudos, if that's okay. Yeah. For real. For real.
Honestly, I don't think that, and not that I'm seeking it. So when I hear it from people like yourself, it's really nice to hear. But I would probably say, and this is a big statement, I'm one of, not the, and I don't know how large the pool is in its different eras, but from my era, I am definitely one of the most impacting, forward-moving, helping to expand hip-hop into new worlds, least recognized and celebrated guy. And that, which is fine. I don't mind because I didn't do it to get celebrated.
But you,
no,
I won't do it. Okay.
No, I did it for the good of culture because it's where I come from.
Got it.
So if I know that it's going to help and I can be, if I have some sort of advantage or leverage or an angle that I can get in the back door and open it up for some other people, I don't need everyone to walk in like, oh, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in the back door as long as we're in there. And I always considered myself part of the culture because that's all I know. You know what I mean? But as we get older and, you know, people have their own perception of what different people look like and what they're supposed to be and what they represent, you know, you'll have people that don't know my legacy or my history or what I've done, and like could hear me on your show and be like, who's that white dude? Da, 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 da.
No.
Yeah, for sure. And
can you explain to him that I was jumping up and I said, this is what I said. I said, you motherfucking lying. That's what I said.
Well, I
Then
appreciate that.
He said, I would like to speak to. I said, he was talk to me. That's what happened today.
Thank you.
That's what happened today.
Thank you. But yeah, so I really appreciate that a lot. It means a lot. But I didn't do it for that. I still do it for the culture. Like if you've seen the fights that I have behind corporate doors, fighting for the culture, and even some of the culture might not even appreciate the fact I'm fighting for it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop fighting for it, because back to the point of what I've been saying from the beginning, my assignment is to fight for it. If your assignment is to not understand my assignment, that doesn't change my assignment.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
And I'll continue to do so. And the new company I'm building right now is going to be a cultural global disruptor that I can't get into fully yet. But when it blows up, when it blows up and we come back to this, like that's what he was talking about. And I swear, man, it's probably going to be one of the biggest impacting things that helps underserved communities, connecting cultures, closing age gaps, building international bridges, and really helping open up opportunities and possibilities to kids that didn't even know it existed. And that, to me, it's also going to make a shit ton of money, right? But like,
that part.
but that part isn't as exciting unless this stuff happens. I wouldn't want to just be a rich guy, look at all my money, and I didn't really do anything, or I don't have a bunch of people to celebrate and make money and be happy too. That sucks. Who wants to be that guy? Well, I'm sure there's a lot of
somebody does.
I don't want to be.
I get it.
Right? If I win, we all win kind of mentality is what I have. Even people that work with me. I would hate to be the boss of a company and like I'm super rich and you guys are just struggling working for me. Like that's whack. I feel like if the world thought like that, we'd all be better. Right? If we all care. What's that line? If we all, what did T.I. say recently? If we all do a little, none of us have to do a lot. Right?
Thank you so much. Is there anything that you want us to take a look at? What would you advise for us to look at from you that you really want to make sure we see, that you really want to make sure we hear?
If there was one thing I wanted you to look at and hear, it would be look at yourself and hear what you can be doing. Hear what you're saying to yourself. Because remember, you have to watch out what you're saying to yourself because you're always listening, right? So if you say negative things to yourself, you're going to hear it. If you doubt yourself, if you condemn yourself, criticize yourself, it gets into your blood. It gets into your soul. And, I know I'm not a big advocate of like manifesting and like, just say, yes, I can. And you can do it. Cause no, you can't. Everyone can't do it. If you say you can do it, right? It's everything. It's even like in the speaking world.
No, I mean,
right?
not saying that is hip-hop.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't believe that you can manifest things. I don't believe that you can wish them. I don't believe anything other that you have to make a plan, not an idea. Everybody has an idea. There's a difference from an idea and a plan. You ask anybody, hey, what do you want to, man, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Great idea. What's the plan, right? Most people won't have a plan. I think when you put your plan together of what your life is or what you want it to be, then you have to build yourself by design, not by circumstance. Most people live their life by circumstances, their finances, their past, their pain, their history, as opposed to this is what I want to be, here's who I want to be, here's where I want to get, and here is my path. And nothing will waver me from that. Then that's how you win that's how you build a winning life, a happy life. Anything other than that, when you let somebody else's drama or stress or somebody else's issues or the things that we talked about, you got to let go and not carry. When you carry them around with you, like if I walked around the rest of my life, like I was molested for years, like that's why I can't get ahead. Like at that point, it's not even like the guy that molested me's fault anymore. Now it's my fault because I'm letting it own me.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't do that. Like shit happens. We all go through stuff. That's part of life. But guess what? You're learning lessons and getting perspectives and building tools that somebody that didn't go through that.
Yeah.
So now you might learn empathy. You might learn survival. You might have a different instinct than somebody else. Okay. I just thought of this last night, so I'm going to practice it with you now.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble. Here it comes.
Actually, then I'm going to say it when I speak tomorrow.
Okay.
So going back to the running from things and stuff, right? If someone dug a big hole in front of you, and just this big gaping hole, most of us would say, oh man, I got a hole. What if I fall in there? Or now I got a hole in my yard. Or what am I going to do with this hole now? And they stress out over this hole that they think is the problem in their life. And the one thing that nobody ever does is look over to the left and say, what did that hole provide? A shit ton of dirt. And what does that dirt do? Builds things, protects things, and packs things. That is your empathy and your tools and your power and the strength that you got from that problem that you think you have and you're focusing on. And if you now focus on that, that's not even a problem anymore. You're getting the benefit from what you were carrying around thinking was a problem. And that's what I've done since I was young. You know, okay, my dad left. I know I don't like this feeling, so I won't make anyone else feel this way. All right, my mom and her friends talk about this is what they want in a guy. All right, now I know what you should be as a guy, right? And like people run around life looking for answers to life, searching in places that it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
When the answers are right there in your face, you're just not listening.
Yeah.
The world's always talking to you.
I was recently talking about dirt the other day, all jokes aside.
Yeah.
And it was like dirt is the beginning of building.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a seed that you may be able to plant in it and it'll grow.
Yeah.
A lot of times we think of dirt as this scary, nasty, spooky thing that just has no value. But that's huge. That's a big thing is what can I do with soil?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do with beginnings?
Yep.
Right. And then my last question for you, because I know we got to wrap, is why are you brave enough to say this?
I don't see it as brave.
Okay.
I see it as just matter of fact. Like,
really?
Yeah. So it happened. Like
I mean, why are you brave enough, or how are you brave enough to say, try this way, it works, or it can work?
Because I put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not just like my personal taste that I'm sharing, or this is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
This is me putting in decades of intentional work to figure these things out. And not just from a very linear, one-dimensional, my way. This is to know how I think and why I think, and to accept why it's so robust. You'd have to really know how I came up.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, just even in my house, my mom always had like gays and lesbians in the house when we were young.
Mm-hmm.
All her friends were black and brown.
Mm-hmm.
Like my whole neighborhoods were all bad. So like everything, then I lived in Jewish communities, and I went to like white schools, and so I was exposed to everything very young, which means everything mattered to me from day one. Nothing was weird or foreign. So when I think of everyone all the time. So when I'm thinking about how can I help somebody, it's not from like a middle-class white dude who like, or whatever you would categorize somebody. It's from someone who really cares, paid attention, listened, and understands the needs and feelings and thoughts of other people, considers it, and then figures out how to best serve the masses in a diverse form.
Got it.
So that's where like my brain comes from. So when I think about doing businesses, like I think about everybody. When I think about even just a basic argument with somebody, I'm thinking about their perspective. And most people don't take the time to wonder, why do they think this way? Why do they have a different point of view than me? Where are they coming from? What's their culture? Like, so when you understand all that, then you can talk, you know, to the hood, to Wall Street and everything in between, and understand what they don't understand about each other.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
All right.
But for real, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you think I'm kidding, because we have like a similar demeanor. So I don't know.
I don't know if there's sarcasm in there or.
Yeah, I know. Not to be rude, but same.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an East Coast thing with me.
It is. Well, I'm not being sarcastic.
Yeah.
But I think you are. So when you
No,
are,
I'm not.
All right.
I'm you would have to know me to know. And you don't. And it's a surprise day. So it's like, for real?
Well, you know what it is too? I think that even though I thought you were being sarcastic, and let's assume you're not.
Yeah.
When I talk, I don't see anything as special. I don't see what I'm saying as people think I'm more awesome than I think I am, if that makes sense.
I understand.
So when people seem like, oh my God, these words are whatever, I'm just like, they're just regular words. Do you not know this? That's, you know what I mean?
Because you have a gift.
Yeah, but I don't, it's almost like you also kind of almost have to have a little bit of an ego, a narcissism to think to yourself, yeah, what I got to say is fucking powerful. Yo, motherfuckers better listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like,
yeah, okay. Can I be honest? Can I be honest with you? I kind of thought you were gonna say something like that.
Nah.
Not after I sat here.
Yeah.
But I thought you was gonna be like, nah, let me help you out. You know what I mean?
Because I look at, I'm intellectually aware that what I have to say has value and is coming from a good heart and
life has
and
shown you that. I understand.
Right. But I also sometimes, because I'm still the little kid Clinton a little bit sometimes too. So I still feel like, why is what I have to say so incredible to people? It's just regular, normal shit. Doesn't everybody think like this? Like, we're all adults. Like, you don't know to not do that. If the stove's hot, don't touch it. You don't know that?
No.
I got to tell you that?
Yeah.
I know. And I'm realizing more and more like, yeah.
Okay.
You do have to tell people that. But it's crazy to like almost, and I don't mean this in a negative way.
I know you don't.
Because I know everybody's built differently. And I totally recognize that. But sometimes it just feels like life 101. And I'm like, how do people not just realize, don't be a dick to your wife? Like, how do we like treat people with respect and care? And like, we all know what we don't like. How we don't want to be made to feel. So why would you do that to somebody else? It just doesn't make any. Life to me is easy. People make it hard.
Is it okay? And it is. If I say this, but I just want to ask your permission first. May I present that you've been told you have a gift of wisdom? I'm asking.
Sure.
So then everybody doesn't have a gift of wisdom. That's your special gift. So when you walk into a house with boxes behind the door and a rented out house that we're sleeping in with my brother and my sis, and you lavish your God-given wisdom on people, it's amazing. So I need to acknowledge that.
Well, you also gave the gift of giving, because if you think that this is valuable information, you're the box that this gift is in your podcast to give it to everybody else.
And that's why I said thank you. That's
You're
the
welcome.
reason.
This is the moment you've been waiting for. Everything that you've been praying for.